Well, guys, good to see everybody. We had a very successful open week. Had a light practice on Tuesday. Pretty tough practice on Wednesday. And Thursday we had the Tiger Bowl. We let a lot of young guys play. A lot of guys did very well. Braden Fahoko had an excellent scrimmage. D. Anderson had an excellent scrimmage, along with other guys. But those guys showed out, and I was very proud of them. On to Alabama, a very important game for the state of Louisiana. A very important game to our fans. Very important game to our alumni. A great tradition. It's a very important game to our football team. Alabama's a very good team, as we all know. They're undefeated. On offense, I think Brian DeBoer has done a tremendous job. We've been studying him for over a week now. Poses some problems with some great athletes. He's a spread. Offense, they run the ball well. They incorporate the RPOs and play action shots. They can go deep at any time. And they're very, very powerful. I think the difference in their football team is their offensive line. Their offensive line is very well coached. They're big, they're strong, they're physical. Typical Alabama team. They're averaging 500 yards offense, 300 yards rushing, 200 yards passing, averaging 43 points per game. Their top players, obviously, is Jalen Hurts. He runs the ball very well. It's almost like a wildcat tailback back there that can throw the ball. He can beat you with his feet. He can beat you with his arm. It seems like he's gotten better. They're making better decisions with him this year with quarterback runs, and can cause some problems by formations with the defense. And Dave has worked very hard on those plays this week. Calvin Ridley, great wide receiver, big play, 41 catches, over 500 yards. Damian Harris, good all-around back, thick, has a big trunk, can make you miss, is physical. Damian Harris, as I said, Bo Scarborough, big physical back. They got about 4 backs that they can play, and they just keep on rotating. They stay fresh, and you can't tell the difference from one to another. They're very, very well coached. Their offensive line, like I said, is big and physical, led by Jonah Williams, number 73. On defense, great defensive line. They play fundamental football. They fit well. Their linebackers in the right place. We're going to have to protect Danny. That's going to be the key in the game. This is a big man's game. We got to play great on the defensive line, the front 7, and we got to protect Danny. We got to find some spots to throw the football. They're 3-4 base. Their defensive coordinator is Jeremy Pruitt. 5 returning starters. They're giving up 236 yards per game, only 66 yards rushing, 170 passing. They're allowing only 9.8 points per game. I think their biggest factor, one of their biggest factors, their turnover margin, they're +10. We're +3 right now. Their defense has forced 4 fumbles and 11 interceptions. On special teams, their kickoff coverage is one of the best in the country, allowing 18.2 yard average per return. Punt coverage is one of the best in the country, 3 yards per return. Kickoff returner Henry Ruggs is very good, averaging almost 20 yards per return. Punter's pretty good, and the field goal kicker is 13 out of 16 with a long of 42 yards. We're looking forward to preparation this week. Today's Tell the Truth Monday. We're going to have a little longer practice than we have been. All our guys were in last night, Sunday at 10. They went home with their families. Everybody's in school, ready to go today. I know they're going to be pumped up for this game, and we'll be ready to play Saturday night, 7 o'clock.
Coach, I want to ask you about your one of your assistants, Corey Raymond.
Yeah.
And if you can, maybe just share some thoughts on maybe some things about him that we don't know. How does he help the program recruiting as a coach? All these defensive backs in the league.
Yeah, well, you know, he recruits every defensive back we have. They love him. I think he has a great relationship with the players. And Corey will go to a school and find out all the information that he needs. We'll find out the champion and recruit the champion very hard. DBU, when he goes there, you know, he carries a big pedigree. He does a tremendous job of coaching. He played at LSU. He's from Louisiana. He don't want to hear about another school. You can't talk about another school in front of Corey Raymond. He has a lot of pride from being from Louisiana, from playing here, and playing in the NFL. I think he relies on the experience, on how he coaches those guys. He's very loyal to me. He's a good friend of mine. We're assistants together. I think he's a tremendous asset to our program.
In the middle. Coach, last week you called the Bama game a must-win. Today you said it's very important. Some coaches will –
Wait. Last week I called the Ole Miss
No,
game.
it's the Alabama game. I'm sorry.
I said the Ole Miss was a must-win.
Okay.
Last week.
My mistake. Today you said the Bama game is very important. Why embrace that where some coaches will downplay how big a game is, maybe just like another game?
Well, you know, born and raised in Louisiana, how can you not know that? You know, I mean, this is the game. Everywhere I go, they talk about this. This is the game. But you know what? I'm not going to make it so used to our players that they won't be able to play. We're going to be ready to play. And obviously we got 4 games left on our schedule. This one's the next one, so it's important. I think this is huge for us in recruiting. I think this is huge because they have won the SEC, they have won national championships, and they're on top of the world right now. So this is the benchmark.
Yeah, Ed, is there much difference between DeBall's offense and Kiffin's offense and what you've seen?
A little bit different. Quarterback runs a little bit different. Some similar stuff. They still run the zone. They still run the power. They still run the inside zone, outside zone, the stretch. But they're doing more quarterback runs and more quarterback reads with them right now, and they're very difficult.
Coach, over here. In the last 6 meetings, LSU has scored 17 points or less in these games, including being shut out last year. How do you remedy that? And was Matt Canada brought in to win this game?
You know, one of the reason I hired Matt because of all the shifts and formations and stuff that I thought that would give Alabama problems. And I think that Matt has done a tremendous job for us this year. Obviously, he spent all week last week on his game plan. Obviously, when he watches the film, he sees what he can do and what he can't do. But it all starts with blocking those guys up front. I mean, you can have the best play called in the world, but if you can't block those guys up front, it's not going to work. So I think that protection is going to be key for us. Be able to run the ball in spots, be able to throw the ball when we can throw it and move the ball. Obviously, scoring points against these guys are very tough, but I think he's going to do a very good job of managing the game and taking shots when he can.
Straight ahead. Every year there's so much talk about the losing streak to Alabama. How much does that kind of loom over this program? Is that something that's noticeable?
It's not inside, not for us. We take it one game at a time. We focus in on the task at hand. But I realize that it's out there, obviously, and I realize the pressure to beat Alabama as the head coach here. And I realize that. But as far as factoring in every day in the office, no. But is it noticeable on the outside? Yes, not inside.
Coach, you were running a different offense, obviously, last year against Alabama. But from the sideline, watching them up close, what did you learn? Like, this does not work against these guys. And what can you create at the quarterback position this week?
Well, first of all, Danny has to be very, very patient. He has to make the right throws and the right decisions in a big game. This is his test. He knows it. But we got to protect him. I mean, now there were some throws last year that were wide open. He didn't make them. He'll realize that. And there were some times we didn't block very well for him. So I know we're going to have a better plan this year. And I think that our offense is working very hard to protect Danny and get the throws out that we can get and run the ball when we can.
Ed, on your intro presser when you got the job, you mentioned getting better on the D-line and O-line to win games like this. How far away are you from being where you need to be?
Yeah, we're a little ways away. Now, you look at Sadiq Charles and Ed Ingram. I mean, those guys that coming in and starting as freshmen can be the type of offensive lineman that we need. I love all our guys, okay? But those are physical guys. They have the physical stature that it takes to be able to block these guys. Now, are they ready to block these guys? We're going to find out as freshmen. It's pretty hard. But we need to continue getting guys like that. You know, on defense, we have Braden Fehoko. We had Tyler Shelvin, who's 350-something pounds. You know, those guys are the guys that we brought in to play in the 3-4 defense to win an SEC. But we need to continue to recruit better. We need to get bigger and faster on the line of scrimmage. This is a big man's game. This is where the game is won.
You played a lot of spread teams this year. Bama likes to run downhill, run in between the tackle. How does it change kind of how you play defensively?
Yeah, we need to be gap sound. We need to be gap sound. We need to understand where our fits are. We need to beat blocks when we need to beat blocks. We need to stay home when we need to stay home. Our linebackers need to key and diagnose. The biggest thing, we need to tackle. When we get at the point of attack, we need to make the plays.
Ed, I'm sure you take a note that Jim McElwain got let go at Florida. Why do you think college coaching has become more volatile in the last few years? And in the SEC, do you think that has something to do with the fact that Alabama's had so much success and everyone is saying you got to be on that level?
Yeah. You know, I haven't thought about it that much, to be honest with you. I was on the road recruiting Friday, went to my kid Saturday. I don't know when he got fired. Somebody told me that yesterday morning or today, whatever. I haven't paid much attention to it, but I do understand this, that having a head job, a coaching position like this in the SEC is very valuable. And you get paid to win. And if you don't win, they'll get somebody else to do it. I mean, that's just the way it is. And you understand that's taking the job. So whatever happened there, I'm not abreast of. I don't like to see anybody get fired, but I know it's part of the business.
Coach DJ Chark had a pretty good line the other day. He said, nobody on the team bets. We don't pay attention to lines or whatnot. But when you're a 21-point underdog, do you bring that up with the team as far as being a big underdog, embracing being an underdog?
Well, it was the first I heard of it. Thanks for telling me. And that don't mean anything to us. I mean, that's why you play the game. I think Syracuse didn't listen to that when they played Clemson. You just why you play the game. You never can tell. We're going in there with the mindset we're going to win the football game. Now, whether that happens or not, we have to execute. We have to play very, very well. But we're getting on that plane to go win a football game. That's going to be our attitude.
Coach, Alabama's defense, they are relentless. They've got incredible endurance. What are you and the Tigers going to do to keep up with that, especially when it gets late in the game?
Yeah, we need to keep our guys fresh. We need to use different speeds on offense when we can. I need to be smart about it. And but again, I think that the whole key to Alabama is protecting the quarterback. If you can protect the quarterback, you got a chance. We can't let them get their cleats in the grass and get in the pass rush mode. They become very tough.
And you're talking about recruiting and linemen, and obviously Rashard Lawrence is such a huge piece in sort of this LSU versus Alabama battle from the part of the state he's in. Just, I guess, what do you recall about his recruitment and how big it was to secure that?
I mean, countless Saturdays on unofficial visits. Sunday morning, I remember watching film with him from 8 to 11. And I said, well, Rashard, how we stand? He goes, well, I really like Alabama. Man, Sunday morning. I said, thank you. But you have to fight. You got to fight it. You know, North Louisiana. You know, we have several commitments from North Louisiana now. We made a big push in North Louisiana, and they've done a good job there. They need to battle. It came all the way down to the end, and actually it came down between us and Ohio State for Rashard. But you just got to hang tough in there. And listen, I was recruiting Orgeron Davis. I was recruiting Isaiah Buggs. You know, they beat us on those guys. And those are the guys that we need to get, and that we need to beat them in recruiting.
Coach, kind of staying on the same topic, what is it about Alabama as a D-line guy that they can reload so well on that front? What do you see there?
Well, they do a good job of recruiting. They do a good job of evaluating. Give them credit. I mean, they do a good job. We go after the same guys. And I'm glad we got some of the guys we got. We beat them on a couple of guys. They've beaten us. Now, remember, this is his 11th year there. This is my first. Okay.
Coach, straight here in the back. This game, especially last year, you can see how one big play, one score, that could be the only score of the game to determine it. How much do you stress to the team, whether it be on defense, offense, special teams, that one play you have to take advantage of the opportunity could be the only score in the game?
You know, the first thing we talked to our team about against this team is execution, doing it right every down. When you watch them play, you watch them block, you watch them run, it's all about great athletes being well coached, and execution is the same for us. If you jump out of gap, this is like playing the NFL. The margin of error is like that. You jump out of gap, they're gonna make a play. You stay in your gap, you're gonna make the tackle. You got a press corner, you get beat, it's touchdown. You beat him, you may get an interception. That's the way this game goes.
Coach, is this maybe the healthiest the team has been since the BYU game? Is that did that bye week come at the perfect time?
I would say so. Yeah, we're healthy. We're rested, the healthiest we've been in a while. And you know, we've had 3 SEC victories in a row, so our team's feeling confident about themselves right now.
Speaking of health, KJ, what's his? He's going to practice this week, you think?
KJ is questionable.
Practice.
KJ is questionable.
How about anybody else questionable, Ed, that you can think of?
I think we're very healthy right now. Everybody good? Have a great day, guys.